You're tuned into Recovery TV, the voice of hope, with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Discussions and information on addiction and mental health issues. Now, here's John and today's guest.
Welcome to Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. I have a special guest today from Zinnia Health, Christy Paventia, and she is the general manager. And just for you folks out there, Zinnia Health bought the old Phoenix house. So thank you for joining us today, and thank you for coming in and scooping up Phoenix house, and thank you for being a sponsor of the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
So
my pleasure.
Tell my watchers, my listeners, everybody is on Recovery TV about Zinnia Health.
So in a nutshell, Zinnia Health basically has been established since 2019. We are a healthcare system that heals for good. In 2021, we came to Rhode Island, picked up the old Phoenix house, and then since there we've been running as far as, detox, residential, just continuing the care for all the best we can, given the circumstances that the state's in right now. So we're putting our best foot forward daily.
Now, when the boss came in and met with us, he talked about campus expansion.
Yes.
Is that still a plan of Zinnia Health?
Oh yeah. We are in the middle of applying for our licensure for a PHP IOP program. We currently have sober homes ready to go in Cranston. 48 beds will be its capacity. So we're hoping to get those online any day now. Literally within the month or two, we're going to be able to step down our clients from the residential care and then also have beds open for the rest of the state as well. So that with our North Kingstown office, that is going to be PHP IOP. And then the expansion with Exeter itself, we're in the middle of asking for support to add 25 more beds at least to the Exeter campus.
And I know when the boss came, we talked a little bit about expanding the patient care down in Exeter. You wanted to have a primary care doc there. You wanted to have a number of other healthcare providers down there. Is that still a goal?
Yeah, absolutely. I say the goal is wherever the need is, that's going to be our goal. Right now we have telehealth services as well. We have a nurse practitioner, multiple on-site providers. Where the primary care comes into play will be when we hopefully open our veteran and first responder program, which is also coming this year as well. So we have a lot spinning, but where there's the need, we're gonna be there and try and fill in that gap. So hopefully for Veterans Day, we're hoping to have this up and running.
That's a quick thing that you're doing there, expanding that rapidly, but it's very much needed in Rhode Island. Just past, we're filming now early February, and this is not going to get till March, but this has been a tough weekend. It's been a tough weekend. A lot of calls, a lot of people looking for help, not enough beds, not enough services. Do you see it from your standpoint, your general manager standpoint, do you see it being more difficult lately with the beds and the people that need treatment? Yeah,
absolutely. We have a capacity of 55 right now. Usually our residential program is full and there's a waiting list, and since we step down detox, we enter everyone at a detox level, and then they step down to residential. Residential, there is a really there's a disadvantage in the state for available beds. So when we have open beds, we put it out there to the community when we don't have many stepping down. But as far as detox, since detox is 7 to 10 days, give or take, we usually have a pretty good amount of detox beds open daily. I like to say that I start my day with today, 5 detox beds are available, and by the end of the day, they'll be booked. probably by 4 p.m. they'll be booked. So there's definitely the need, and there's the need for expansion, the need for everybody to come together and provide as many beds as possible at all times.
You know, you bring up a good point. The need. And the need is for the state to step up and help with financial expertise. I'll use that word. You know, the rates haven't been changing years upon years and upon years. True. And quite frankly, I was surprised that someone would come in and take Phoenix House.
I know.
Because of the rates that we pay. And it's appalling, you know, and it's sad because no one could run a business on the current rates that you're getting today from 20 years ago. They haven't been changing that long. So what was the reason, if you know the reason, why the boss came to Rhode Island?
So he saw the need. He's very passionate. He got a call in the situation that the program was in. Somebody that he's worked with and familiar from picking up other facilities around the country. This came right as it was going to auction. Phoenix House was going to auction. I think he came in within a week and said, I need to be part of this program. I think we have a lot to invest here, and I see it being successful for years to come. So with that, there was no further questions asked. He said there's nothing I wouldn't do or pay to pick up this program. He just saw the potential and basically the ask from the state for this program to stay open, to save jobs, to save this option for the folks that need it, because if it closed down, where would we be?
Yeah.
So he's very passionate. He's in tune with the need and the crisis around the country, and so he picked this one up, made a few tweaks. We're extremely successful right now, and he's constantly looking for other programs that are in that situation. Unfortunately, Rhode Island is the lowest paid Medicaid rates in the country. But we have other programs that we pick up to hopefully sustain, so that we can figure out and tweak a few more things so that we're fully, we can even things out with the Medicaid rates, hopefully.
Right, and you know, from a standpoint where I sit, you look at Zinnia and you look at them coming in, and it seems to me it was a gentleman on a white horse.
Yeah.
Because we could not be without Zinnia right now in those 50 some odd beds.
Absolutely.
We have problems now with 1 or 2 beds on the weekend. Yeah. Imagine 50 beds that were not online.
Yeah.
I mean, people would be dying left and right.
Absolutely.
You know, so we're very thankful for that.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful that I met the boss.
Yeah.
And we'll reveal his name in the second sector of the program. But it's a big deal.
Yep.
It's a big deal. And from what he told us, and we'll talk about this in the next segment, where he came from and where he is today, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break. Okay. You're watching Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. We'll be right back after these messages from our great sponsors.
And now, back to Recovery TV with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Recovery TV is made possible by our supporting sponsors and our title sponsor, AdCare. Now, here's John and today's guest.
Welcome back to Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. Zinnia Health is in the house today. Christine Provencher, who is the general manager. So welcome, Christine. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for becoming a sponsor. So I left all my viewers dangling by a thread. Now, who is the boss?
The boss would be Tyke Kwan. He's our CEO. And yes, he's, like you said, the knight in shining armor to Rhode Island. Yeah,
there's a gentleman that, and correct me if I'm wrong, was on Wall Street, worked on Wall Street, and the story that he told us about his son, Daddy, what do you do? And he told him, and then all of a sudden things started to click. Right. And he wanted to get involved in healthcare. And he was on a couple of boards out in California, and that's where Teak is from. But he's done a phenomenal job. His way of thinking is a lot of us, where we want to help people.
Right.
We want to bring back people from the point that they're at and have them become productive citizens again.
Yeah.
Let my viewers know what activities that they have down in Zinnia. Now, Zinnia is on the old complex of Ladd School.
Correct.
The Fire Academy is one neighbor, and Job Corps is another neighbor.
Yep. Yep.
And all the land in between.
Yeah.
I would love to see Zinnia do a medical mall down there,
Yeah.
where we can do treatment, we can do primary care, we can do adult care, we can do adolescent care. That's one of the things that we're lacking here in Rhode Island is adolescent substance use care. Any plans on the horizon in your conversations with Teak about doing stuff with adolescents?
Well, right now we not in Rhode Island. I know in other parts of the country they're working on that, and you know, just like the veteran and first responder program and that expansion, we want to make sure that we do things right. So it takes a lot of collaboration between business, clinical, medical. So once we hear there's a need, like you just mentioned, I'm sure the wheels will start turning and we'll have those discussions. And once we perfect what we're already working with, and you know, I say perfect, there's always going to be room for improvement. We hope so. Once we get, you know, well on our way with these next future plans, then, you know, I guess the option's endless because there is that need. So we would be more than happy to discuss any future plans for the
you know,
state.
one of the things when I met with Teak is he's got a vision.
Yeah.
Not many people that have a vision to expand their company like he did. The presentation was overwhelming because I didn't think that someone of his stature, which is a young man, had the vision that he has.
Right.
Whether it's in Rhode Island, Colorado, New York, Vermont, wherever, he has a vision. And that's a good thing. And that's a good thing. Because a lot of the things that we deal with, me and you and the rest of the people that are the heads of these organizations, it's a day-to-day grind.
Yeah.
You know, because you want to make sure that your facility is the best that it can be, the best food, the best treatment, the best classes, you know, but there's always going to be hiccups in our business, always. I mean, you know, when I got involved, the fentanyl wasn't as bad as it is today. Now it's real bad. Now we're looking at people putting other factors into the fentanyl, and it's always a learning curve, per se, for when these people who sell this stuff and make this stuff. That's all they do is sit around all day thinking on how they can make their product better. You know, and it gets to the street, and it's not good.
No.
It's not good for the people that take it. Although, you know, and I don't know if you're hearing this in your facilities, but in the facilities that I talk to, a lot of the people that are getting hooked for the wrong reason. Meaning that the pendulum has swung so far to the left. The doctors are having problems writing scripts because they're being followed by DEA. And there's people that need pain medicine because they have chronic pain, whether it be cancer patients, MS patients, or debilitating diseases that they may have. They need pain medicine. And if they don't get the pain medicine from a CVS or a Walgreens, then they go to the street, and then unfortunately the stuff on the street is not what CVS and Walgreens makes, it's the bad stuff.
Correct.
And then we have consequences to that.
That's true too.
Now, is your organization seeing a lot of different drugs coming into the facility, meaning that people are depending on these other things rather than just opioids?
Yeah, we are seeing fentanyl, a lot of cocaine-laced fentanyl, You can't really be addicted to cocaine. It would obviously carry something like
right,
fentanyl in it.
Yeah.
Usually our main, they call it drug of choice there, is alcohol, but it always comes, you know, with another unfortunate drug involved with their detox. So a lot of heroin, fentanyl, crack cocaine, and you know, mainly alcohol. That just
you know,
stems.
a lot of people don't realize that you can die from an alcohol detox if it's not done correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
you know,
it's not fun.
you can't, and I don't believe you can, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. You can't die from a fentanyl or a drug detox. It's just basically alcohol detox. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. You know, not being a provider myself, we're lucky that they do come to us to help assist with that, because we see it from start to finish, and it's not comfortable. So there is a proper way to do it. You know, we have very strict standards of monitoring, 24-hour nursing, assessments by providers 24/7. So it does take an entire team to make sure that whatever their drug of choice is, that they're all handled accordingly to that specific need.
Now, someone who oversees an operation, and I know that a lot of the insurance companies are always going to give 14-day detoxes, but it's a constant battle.
Yeah.
If John needs more time in detox,
Right.
it's a constant battle to get John more time in detox with these insurance companies.
Yeah.
So when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about that,
Okay.
and then I would like to give you out the Zinnia's phone number and address and stuff like that, so people know where Zinnia is.
Absolutely.
So you're watching Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. We'll be right back after these messages. We're talking to Zinnia Health.
And now, back to Recovery TV with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Recovery TV is made possible by our supporting sponsors and our title sponsor, AdCare. Now, here's John and today's guest.
Welcome back to Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. Zinnia Health is in the house. Christine Provencher, who is the general manager, is my guest. So thank you for joining us today, and thank you for being a sponsor.
Thank you.
So I want you to give out Zinnia's telephone number and the website so people can see.
Absolutely. So it's zinniahealth.com. All locations are listed on there. Phone numbers. There's live chat for instant connection to somebody that can help. And then our phone number is for our local facility, 401-295-0960. There's a few options on there where you can speak to a receptionist live, or we have our admissions line 24/7. Option 1 goes right to our team for admissions, manning the phones at all times.
Now let me ask you this question: If I'm a first responder and I don't want to come into Rhode Island because of different reasons,
Right.
as a first responder, whether it's a police officer or a firefighter, do you have other facilities that we can send
Yes.
folks to?
Yeah, we do that all the time. You know, sometimes it depends on insurance, but we have a program in New Jersey, so we send a lot of folks down to New Jersey. And you know, if it's a first responder, more than likely they'll have that commercial insurance or
right.
backing from you know the town. So that way, there's many different options. I've just as last week sent somebody down to Florida and another person to California the other week before that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's plenty of options, and
That's what I like,
discretion is
options.
number one. Yeah.
I like options. So if
We
you need
got
to
it.
go to Zinnia, 401-295-0960. Christy Provencher, General Manager of Zinnia. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank
It was a
you.
pleasure having you on. You've been watching Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. See you next week.